Hey guys, what's up? I just saw the message that Shawn had put up on Dprjones' channel, or rather, yeah, the message that Dprjones put up, where Shawn basically comes clean about his history on YouTube and that he's going to be seeking help and he's hoping for forgiveness for his actions and such. And it got me thinking about a few things. First off, though, I definitely, wish him well in him trying to better himself, seek the help that he needs, and hopefully be able to heal whatever damage may have been caused between him and his family and himself and people on YouTube. Though I can tell you right now that him trying to heal things on YouTube is going to be a very long battle, but if he's sincere in it, then I wish him all the best in, healing it, and hopefully it'll be as quick as possible. But it got me thinking about a couple of things, particularly the whole thing about him needing help and about how his actions had affected people on YouTube. And I found him surprisingly candid on that, refreshingly candid on that, for, considering, his history and his reputation. The fact that he was truly coming clean about himself must have been one hell of a move on his part. Could not have been easy. But it's funny, I really didn't watch his videos. I never really went on his channel. Pretty much everything I knew about him was from other people, and the only times I ever saw anything from him was usually when I saw other people's videos about what he did, where I would see clips of it. So I didn't really know too much about him, but I always had a little bit of a feeling that he was a bit unhinged. It was the Joker video that had me going, okay, there's something wrong with the guy. And my wife, I have to give her credit for this. She had him pegged. Well, we don't know for sure, but she was pretty sure he had narcissistic personality disorder. From the few video clips she said, she's like, I'm pretty sure he's got it. He's displaying the traits for it. And recently I saw somebody else's video where they hint that they think that's what it is. I don't know if it is or not. Shawn didn't say as much, and it probably is for the best that we don't pry. But I would not be surprised if that's the case, if my wife had pegged this like last year. So I got to give her props for that. But I'm bringing up the fact that, he feels he needs help, and I'm also bringing up the fact that he admits that he caused a lot of damage on YouTube for a reason. And that reason is this: his followers. Or, well, to be fair, because I don't really like calling them his followers, not unless they desperately wanted to be his followers, and in that case it's more sad for them. More the people who were rallying behind him on YouTube and subbed to his channel and hinged on his every word. If you guys are not completely delusional and you're not trying to completely hoodwink yourself concerning all this, it must not be a very good feeling that all this time you've been championing somebody who's not only mentally and somewhat emotionally unhinged, but who also admits that he caused quite a lot of damage on YouTube, helped to cause the rift that is going on between atheists and Christians, and was not acting in good standing at all. He was not presenting himself in any way as a moral beacon for your religion. He himself admits that. And you guys the whole time were jumping behind his back and saying, oh, he's a great guy, he's doing a good thing, just because he was hoisting along the image of a cross and saying all the things that you wanted to hear. Now, I'm not saying this to try to rub it in your faces, because this is a very serious matter. I think this is a big lesson, a huge lesson that you need to understand on putting all your weight behind one individual, especially if that individual is constantly saying things that you want to hear. Not just things that you like to hear, but things that you want to hear. That's very dangerous. I've said it before that it's never a good idea to throw your weight behind one individual, especially one man or woman. You should never, ever, ever throw all your faith or all your weight or put all your support on one human being, because they are, after all, just human beings and they're subject to faults. myself included, because I'm a human being with human DNA. As long as you got human DNA, you're fucked. Now, in this case, it wasn't just simply a person who had a few failings. This is a guy who, to put it mildly, has problems. And he's done things on YouTube which he is now admitting that he's not exactly proud of. But you guys were supporting it all along because he was a Christian. That's not a good freaking reason. And I would think that a group of people who claim to be a moral majority and have a better moral compass than other people would have realized that by now. It still surprises me that all the way up to this point, even when his actions were being shown for what they were, you guys were still trying to find ways to excuse them. And even going out of your way to try to make the people who were exposing this look bad. Oh, they're blackmailing him. Oh, they're victimizing him. They're doing horrible things. No, they were simply exposing somebody who was doing rather, disreputable things on YouTube, even though he was trying to portray himself as some type of moral authority. This is a basic type of outrage that we see everywhere in human society. It's not just an atheist versus Christian thing. Anytime we see somebody who we know is a crook, but then they act in a way that they start acting like, oh, they're good people, and they try to put themselves as a moral standard and lambast other people, but just by their actions and by they carry themselves that they're crooks, you feel pissed off. And we have plenty of examples in history of that, even in today's world. I'm pretty sure there's some politician somewhere, some celebrity, or some leader that you can think of right now who's trying to make himself look like, oh, he's some great individual, and he's nothing but a scumbag, and it pisses you off. You want to expose him for what he is so that people would stop putting their weight behind this guy so he won't continue to do harm. That was what this was. Because you guys were desperate to have some type of champion for your cause, you backed him up. And this did not do you, your movement, or your religion any favors. The truth does come out eventually, and it did here. And not only is this a blow to his reputation, well, to be honest, this is actually not a blow to his reputation. This is actually going to help it. The stuff he did in the past was a blow to his reputation. Him coming clean now is actually a little bit of a glimmer of hope. It makes him seem more human, and it shows him to be somebody who at least has a conscience and thinks about what he's doing. At least that's the way it looks. We won't know for sure if it's true until months down the line. But this is making things better. This little revelation, however, makes you guys look bad, because you've been following someone like him and ignoring all the stuff that everyone else is saying simply because he was a Christian. That was it. You didn't think about it. You tried to, excuse all the things he was doing, or completely blanked it out of your mind, which also lends to the argument that a lot of atheists have been saying about religious people, that they don't pay attention to the facts. They just pay attention to what they want to believe. This proves it. And again, it doesn't do you guys any favors. What makes this even worse is that I know that there are several other Christians on YouTube doing the exact same thing that he is, or doing similar things that he is, or have had a similar past. I know of there are a couple of people who used to do false DMCAs in the past. They had to admit to it. They're not doing it anymore. At least some of them aren't doing it anymore, but they're still saying things and putting out videos and that are horrible, but yet they're trying to make themselves look like, oh, they're the good people. So they're continuing the same thing that Venom Fang was doing, contributing to the damage. And what makes it worse is that I am pretty sure that after they see this video, they won't even take the time to go, wait a minute, that's me. No, they're gonna try to fill his slot. And you guys need to be aware of that. What I mean by you guys is Christians, you guys watching YouTube. You need to be aware of it, because that's damage being done to you and your movement and your religion and your way of life. This is not the sort of thing that you should allow to happen, and you definitely shouldn't be supporting it. If I can give one piece of advice, it would be the one that I gave earlier in this recording. Do not completely throw your weight behind a person or a group of individuals just because you like what they're saying. Never rally behind someone so hard and so, passionately and so blindly that you don't even notice any of their faults until it's too late. That way leads disaster. Remember the lesson of Dprjones. If you need a movement to jump onto, it should be one that focuses mostly upon yourself. You should be using that energy to figure out who you are as a person, what you want out of life, and what you're doing here on planet Earth. That would be a hell of a lot better than completely jumping behind someone whose actions prove to be the fruits of either an immoral or an addled mind, or worse, both. Something to think about.